Hello, everyone, and welcome back to GameStack Podcast right here on We Just Love Games Network. You are listening to episode 153, Quoth, the Ravensview. And I am your co-host this evening, Vandertron. Joining me this evening, as always, is Shaline. Hello, Shaline.
Hello, hello.
And we have a special guest joining us this evening for the first time on the show, Ravensview, all the way from Ontario, Canada. Hello, Ravensview. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing fine.
It's how are you guys doing? How's your week?
Good here. You know, the busy
Is it
life of the
smoky?
retiree.
Smoky where you are?
It's smoky. You know, it's just a bit of a barbecue camp. It's like camping without leaving my apartment.
Yeah.
Just
I had
make some s'mores. You'll feel right at
yeah, just
home.
put your
It's
s'mores
great.
over the balcony. I had a meeting this week with some people in Wisconsin, and they were all complaining about the smoke, and I'm like, I'm sorry. Like I don't have any control over it. Yeah. How was your week, Shaline?
It was good. I had a very, very busy week. It is the end of the fiscal year for my job, and I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. It was
Mm-hmm.
really a week, but it was a good week. Got a lot of things done.
Just a reminder, I'm getting some Discord notification chimes, so if either of you have Discord up, you might want to mute for the duration of the show.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably actually picking up from Archon's headset
Oh, perhaps.
because
Okay.
I can hear them. How do I shut this off?
Archon is our studio producer, but he is away on business this evening. So naturally, he probably deliberately set the volume high on his headphones to
Okay.
spoof us, right?
I turned them down.
He's doing a
So
thing. He's doing a thing.
Okay. Am I supposed to see the whole screen where it says I'm doing your screen or no?
We share a screen so that you can see when we roll the B-roll, but it'll make sense in a few minutes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we invited Ravensview on the show to because Shaline and I wanted to do a special segment on this evening's show talking about the video games that made us, and the evolution of games throughout our own lifetime. And we are all mature gamers here, right? And I thought we could have a really great conversation around what video games mean to us and what they have been in the past and where they've come to who we are today and what they mean as part of who we are. So thank you for joining us this evening, Ravensview. And don't forget, if you are joining the show live this evening, click the follow button. We love to have you follow us on the Twitch page. If you are listening after the fact, we love you and thank you for listening to the show. And also, don't forget, the show is sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you head on over to oakandcrow.com, you can pick up a bag of We Just Love Coffee blend, and $2 from every purchase of that blend goes to the Children's Miracle Network. Don't forget to tell your friends about the show. Host us. Actually, no. Why do I keep saying that, Shaline? Host
yeah,
is
that
not a
hasn't
thing
been a thing in a
anymore.
long time. Yeah.
Just forget I said that. You can find the show on other podcast platforms. Don't worry if you miss the live recording. If you're racing home from work and you miss it, you can tune into YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Hey,
And
did you
any
hear
other
the news about
podcast platform.
Stitcher?
No.
Stitcher is being taken offline, I believe, at the end of July. So
Oh.
if you listen on Stitcher, you're going to need to find a new platform. I believe Stitcher is exporting its stuff to Pandora. So you may be able to listen there, but we are on all the other ones. So
And I do want to mention while we're making announcements, it is also the Steam Summer Sale. And our new mod in the Discord, RTZ13, I'll let Shaline, sorry, I kind of spilled the beans on that. He mentioned to remind all of you who are listening to the show to check in the GameStack Marketplace in the Discord for any games that may be available by code on the pins list in that channel. If you are interested in purchasing a game on the Steam Summer Sale, we might actually have a copy of it for free for you. So check within the GameStack Marketplace. And how's the Discord going, Shaline?
Discord is great. We got a new Discordian this week. It's been quite a while. So everybody, welcome Ashton Reed 44.
Oh,
Hey, Ashton.
Yay! Applause.
that's amazing.
And also, yeah, I was so excited to get a new person.
It's been like months.
It has. So welcome, Ashton. You made our day. And also, I wanted to shout out RTZ13 because we promoted him to a mod. Yay! RTZ. More applause.
Yeah, RTZ's been instrumental to the community. He's really active in the chat, but he has taken on managing his own little corner of the Discord, which is the GameStack marketplace, and he's like Khajiit has wares, you know, like that's how
He's always finding deals and setting people up with free games, and
it's awesome. I
really
wanted to play Death Stranding, and I go on Steam and I'm like, it's like $55 Canadian. Like I want to play it, but not that bad. So I popped into the GameStack marketplace and I'm like, hey RTZ, do you have Death Stranding? He's like, yes, I do. Here's a code. I'm like, yes. Yeah. How can people join the Discord?
You can join our Discord by clicking the link on our Twitch page over at twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. That link is live whether or not the show is, so you can access that 24 hours a day to join the Discord. Alternately, shoot us a message on social media. We'll get you a link.
Excellent. Well, we are going to talk about some news this evening. We're going to go through the game stocks as usual. We are going to talk about what the community has been up to. And then we're going to have a nice conversation around our special segment and our special guest, Ravensview, this evening. And we're also going to talk about our gameplay. So we have a jam-packed show because it's also July 1st just around the corner and we have new releases coming. So let's hop right into the news with this just in. As always, shout out to Joseph Tao, who is ever so diligently sharing his news, tips, and insights with us on a weekly basis. It's nice to actually, he sent us a message in the Discord. I was like, Joseph, where have you been all this time? It is July new releases. Shaline, do you want me to take this list or?
I really do, yeah.
Okay. So it's actually a short list this month. And starting on July 6th, you can get, is it Jilt? Guilt?
I think I'd say guilt. Is it guilt or jilt?
Guilt.
I'm going to say guilt.
That comes out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. The Legend of Heroes, Trails into Reverie, comes out on PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC, and that's on July 7th. On the 12th, you can get Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals on PS4, PS5, Switch, PC, Mac, iOS, and Android. On the 13th, you can pick up a copy of Gravity Circuit on PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC. And then on the 14th, you can get Exoprimal on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. Fast forward 4 days, on the 18th of July, you'll be able to pick up a copy of Viewfinder, PS5 and PC. And also on July 20th, you'll be able to get Might and Magic, Clash of Heroes, Definitive Edition on PS4, Switch, and PC. Pikmin 4, don't forget, comes out on the Switch July 21st. I know that there was a few people in our Discord talking about that this week. Mr. Run and Jump comes out July 25th, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Remnant 2 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, also on the 25th. And then on the 26th, a name you might not have heard for quite some time, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, comes out on PC. On the 27th, we have Double Dragon Gaiden. Is that Gaiden or Garden?
I think it's Gaiden.
Rise of the Dragons on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. The Expanse, a Telltale series on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC on the 27th as well. The 28th, Disney Illusion Island on the Switch. And to cap things off, on July 31st, we have Venba coming out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
Venba is a short narrative cooking game where you play as an Indian mom who immigrates to Canada with her families in the 1980s. Players will cook various. That's
That's
as far
amazing.
as it cuts off there. That sounds really fun. That absolutely sounds like something I would enjoy.
I have to send this to
Oh,
my.
the art style! Look at this art. It's cartoony and amazing. I love this.
It's
I
cute.
want to play this.
Oh, nice
Oh,
art. Yeah.
yeah, it's great. It kind of reminds me of Dexter a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, look at that
Mhm.
pompano
Mhm.
and
And
some
even with
barbecue chicken.
this very cartoony art style, the food still looks delicious.
Sorry, I was so fixated on watching it, I didn't even roll the B-roll. Here you go, guys. Here's the. There's mom. There's the Indian mom and her husband, and the kids are trying the food. Aw, that's nice.
This is great. I love this. Venba, VENBA. I'm totally gonna check that out.
I wonder if it will teach you to like make really good Indian food.
I would love it if it gave you recipes, like
Right?
actual cooking tips and like it. I would love to play this game and then make the meal.
Are either
Wouldn't
of
that
you
be fun?
are either of you fans of any particular type of Indian food?
I don't think I've ever
Uh,
tried any Indian food. I think that's one area in which
Ah.
I have not
Well, I mean,
experienced.
no.
you're in New Mexico, so
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I've had curries. I like curries. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Ottawa area's probably got some really good cuisine for
Oh, yeah.
Indian food. Edmonton is not bad, but I find London. When I was in London, England, it's like every street corner there's like Thai food and Indian food. That's like the thing there.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
really good.
Oh, yeah. Curry and chips has taken over from fish and chips.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much.
That's the British
I,
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Uh,
love Thai food. Thai food is amazing.
Mm.
Thai food is very good. I actually, you may be proud of me, Shaline, but I think I'm going to take the dive and buy and dry some chilies, red chilies,
Ooh,
and start
Uh,
cooking with them more. So,
that
although
sounds fun.
I don't know if it's dry enough here to be able to dry them without it being like terrible. So, I
Well,
could
you can always
probably
use a
sun dry.
dehydrator.
I could sun dry them or dehydrate them
yeah,
in the
that's
yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sully in the chat says chicken tikka masala and naan bread. Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
You can sun dry them. When you go hiking, you just put them around the brim of your hat.
I'll just hang them off my
Yeah,
pack and I'll be
exactly.
like one of the.
Hang a
uh,
little chili ristra.
yeah.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
also
the,
have a few free games coming of Xbox Gold with games with gold for July. This is a 2348 value in games. And 2,000 in gamer score. From July 1st to the 31st, you can pick up Darkwood for free. You can also pick up on July 16th to August 15th When the Past Was Around. Let me just look here. Darkwood is a roam by day, survive the night. Darkwood is a different type of survival horror game that builds tension through slow burn atmosphere without relying on jump scares. Sounds like my
Yeah,
kind of
one of
horror
the
game.
interesting things about Darkwood, and I've thought about checking this one out before. Now I've got a good excuse to do it. Is that the perspective is pulled back, so it's gives you sort of an isometric view of things, which also I think would be pretty good towards not being absolutely terrified.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of the reason why I don't play any horror games, but apparently with Darkwood, when the sun is out, you can explore an open world of what they call the corrupted woods to scavenge weapons and materials. And then once the sun dips, you'll need to hold up surrounded by whatever traps or barriers that you can build and pray that
uh,
you can hide from or fight the creatures that emerge in the dark. So
Darkwood.
yeah, Darkwood.
Hmm.
And then, of course, When the Past Was Around is our second game. And Shalene, do you want to explain this one to the listeners?
No.
Okay. Um, When the Past Was Around is a bittersweet and touching love story of Ada and Owl. And it's a I think it's a puzzle game. And what you do is you unlock different puzzles in sort of a beautifully rendered point and click adventure with hand drawn art and a magical score that will stick with you for quite some time.
Oh,
It's
nice
actually
art.
quite a calming and meditative game that reflects on the love and loss in a surreal world made up of disjointed rooms from memory and time. And yeah, so
I think this is something I would enjoy as well. This looks very much like a Shaline game. I like these experiences that just they're a different way of experiencing a story. You know,
yeah,
it's you can really see things differently via video games than you can via books or movies or any other medium.
yeah, yeah. And one of the things about this is part of video games that I think gets less noticed because we are so focused on immersion and AAA and open world and but this is just an example of a literary work. But also
Mm-hmm.
we see other video games that have been developed in the past as an educational tool as well, or health literacy tool, things like that. So that is Xbox Games with Gold. You can pick those up throughout the month of July. PlayStation Plus also has some essential free games for July. They have confirmed the PS Plus Essential Game lineup, which came after a leak, as per usual. But July is a strong month for PlayStation Plus free games. Subscribers can grab Call of Duty, Black Ops, Cold War, Ending, Extinction is Forever, and Alan Wake Remastered. And the July PS lineup goes live Tuesday, July 4th. If you are unfamiliar with Call of Duty Black Ops, it was published in 2020. It is a first-person shooter, of course, set in the Cold War, and it is the latest iteration of the Black Ops sub-series from Treyarch and Raven Software. It is, of course, campaigning set in the 1980s, and it is a full online multiplayer suite as well as there is a zombies mode. And Alan Wake Remastered is set to. This is a particularly timely free game because Alan Wake 2 is actually set to launch in October, on October 17th. And that is for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So if you've never actually played the original game, now is the time. The 2021 remaster is definitely worth checking out. This is an action adventure that follows sort of a thriller novelist search for his missing wife while on vacation in a curious little town.
Basically, it's non-copyright infringing Stephen King.
Yeah, basically. The original game only dabbles with horror, but the sequel looks like a straight-up horror game. So both PS5 and PS4 versions of the remastered Alan Wake will be up for grabs. And then the final game for the month of July in the PS Plus store is the well-known Ending, Extinction is Forever. And this game places you in the role of the last mother fox in the world. Your job is to avoid extinction in a harsh environment. Ending released last summer and currently holds an overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam. The art style is absolutely gorgeous, and you don't have to invest too much time to actually complete it. The adventure has a runtime
This
of
really
around
is a
5
gorgeous
hours.
art style. Really
Yeah.
gorgeous. But I honestly, I think this could have the potential to be a very heartbreaking game. Just looking at some of these screenshots, this mother fox trying to take care of her little babies. I just in this world that is not kind to wild creatures. I feel like there's a lot of potential for tears in this game. And as much as I want to play it, I do not wish to cry. So just throwing that out there.
This is the type of game where I need to know whether or not the foxes die before I can play it.
See, I think that the foxes dying depends on how well you do. So if foxes go extinct and it's my fault, I'm not sure I can handle that.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight
And
on
look
your
at the
shoulder.
baby. Look at those little babies. An owl almost got that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Oh my goodness.
And
That
Lara.
looks so stressful to me.
That is a PlayStation Plus free games for July. And then finally on the free games list for the month of July is Amazon Prime. So with Amazon Prime, there's always some freebies to cash in on. July 6th, Cook Serve Delicious 3. You will be able to pick that up. On the 13th, Nieri, Tower of Shirin. On the 20th, Witchwood. And 27th, Lunar Axe. And so if you're curious to check those out, look at those as well. Prime Gaming is also giving away Prey, which is available right now. Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition, also available now. And then Shovel Knight: Showdown on July 6th, and Star Wars: The Force Unleashed on July 10th. You can also stream selected games for free in July on Amazon Luna. The Prime Gaming channel's new lineup for streamable games will include Hot Wheels Unleashed, Metal Slug, Male Mole, and Endzone: A World Apart. So you'll
No,
be
I
able...
have.
Go ahead, Raven.
I was gonna say I have Amazon Prime, and I didn't know that there were games there too.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Every month there is an Amazon Games launcher that you can install. And then you can just claim your monthly games every month and play them from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Thank
And
you.
those games can be streamed on any supported devices, including smartphones, laptops, and Amazon Fire Stick. There's also some exciting free in-game loot on the horizon. Diablo 4 players will be able to snag the Brackish Fetch Mount bundle on July 6th. Pokemon Go players can complete an exclusive set of challenges for rewards starting July 10. And once you claim any freebies offered within Prime Gaming, they're yours to keep forever, even if your membership expires. So that's really nice. Anyways, that is the games for July. I always love this part of the show. But I'm going to hand things over to you, Shaline, with the rest of the news.
Great. Well, our first article is a sad one. E3 2024 and 2025 have been canceled, according to the LA Tourism Board. This is a Video Games Chronicle article by Andy Robinson. And the Tourism Board notes in a meeting packet that was spotted by Reset Era that a summary of planned city conventions includes E3 cancellations for 2024 and 25. Of course, E3 was due for its first in-person show in 4 years earlier this June, but the show was canceled in March. According to E3's new organizer, ReedPop, it simply did not garner the sustained interest necessary to execute it in a way that would showcase the size, strength, and impact of our industry. It is possible, of course, that they are planning to hold future E3 events in a different location besides Los Angeles, but frankly, I'd be surprised.
I mean, we've talked. I think I know how you feel about this. I'm kind of like, meh, whatever. But I know that you've attended E3 in the past, Shaline, and you really enjoyed going to it. So how do you feel about that?
Of course, I'm very, very sad. I loved going to E3. It's some of the best experiences that I've had in the gaming sphere. I loved it, getting to meet the people who make the games we play and watch them show off their new creations. It was really fun, really, really fun. It was just this incredible atmosphere of a group of people that just wanted to all nerd out about video games. You know, you can't beat that. You can't beat it.
What are your
So
thoughts? What are your thoughts, Raven?
I'm wondering if it's I don't know what an E3 is, but I'm wondering if it's just a case of being priced out of the market with accommodations and restaurants and all that sort of stuff. People just can't afford to attend a festival. They can't afford the rent to put the festival on. Don't know.
That's a good observation that I think that we've never actually considered in talking about this in previous episodes of the show. Inflation certainly plays a role in that.
I mean,
Absolutely.
if you're hardcore, it's going to be, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm going at any cost, which is usually Shaline. But we've speculated in the past that this really has to do with a lot of the big vendors pulling out of E3, right? PlayStation had pulled out a couple of years ago. Xbox now doing their own exclusive thing, and then they've also had some pretty bad PR. You know, they've had social media influencers attending the event breaking some privacy rules and things like that,
Oh.
data breaches that they've had with registration and things like that. So they've had a rocky few years, not to mention the pandemic that we just spent 4 years
Mm-hmm.
going through, and they had to delay and all of that. So yeah,
Hmm.
I'm curious to see what's going to happen, like if there's going to be some sort of other convention. But I think, Shaline, you make a good point that developers, I think they've sort of figured out that they don't have to spend a lot of money to be able to
Mm-hmm.
showcase their games. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
They don't necessarily need to spend that money to get the attention they want.
Hmm.
So why would they?
Yeah, people are still going to buy them anyways, as long as you show it. And what person that plays video games doesn't isn't able to access that on a digital platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much everyone. So,
Yeah. Well, um, I have no idea how to segue into this next one. I always try and do the cute segues, but I've got nothing this time.
that's okay.
Yeah, our next thing is the Microsoft versus the FTC trial has been ongoing. And I wanted to talk about some of the things that were in this article. It's a gamesindustry.biz article by James Batchelor. Everything we learned from the Microsoft versus FTC hearing. And this was a 17-page article. So we're only going to cover the highlights, by which I mean the things that I personally found interesting.
Right, right.
So Sony had some problems with redacting some of their documents. Some of the documents that they filed still allowed people to read the words, even though they were covered up. And as a result of that, we now know that The Last of Us Part 2 cost $220 million to develop, with close to 200 staff. And Horizon Forbidden West cost $212 million and had 300 staff.
Wow. That's just the
Mm-hmm.
game, not the actual miniseries.
Yeah, it's just the game. This is not the show. Not
Wow.
at all related to the show.
No.
Yeah. Uh, this very same document also revealed that 1 million PlayStation users only play Call of Duty. That's the only game they play on their PlayStation. And they estimated that the series accounts for $800 million in Sony's 2021 US revenues and 1.5 billion globally. It also suggested that this year's Call of Duty is the last in PlayStation's exclusive marketing contract with Activision. So that's definitely a huge reason for them to want to block this Activision acquisition by Microsoft.
Of
It's
course, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Microsoft has been making the case that Call of Duty really isn't that important, but that's ludicrous. Just because all of us don't play Call of Duty, it is still a system seller. It is absolutely a system
That's
seller.
their bread and butter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That, what was the number?
It was a million
800
people.
million. $800 million.
What was the revenue?
The total revenue globally was 1.5 billion.
Billion?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's quite a good deal of money.
Yeah. I don't know what Microsoft's total budget is.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably some unfathomable number.
If it's 100 billion, I don't know.
I'm
Like when
sure it's the kind of
people
number that would
complain
just
about
make me sick.
Yeah.
when people complain about budgets, government budgets, that they're spending that much, and it's like, do you know how much the entire budget is? Oh, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's crazy.
just
It's crazy. I'm sitting on a I can't say anything about that. But governments spend, 10, 20, 30 million dollars on some program that saves lives. Um and meanwhile, you have these companies making 1.5 billion dollars globally
mm,
on a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Sony was not the only company involved in this trial that had problems with redacting their documents. A Microsoft document revealed that the final 8 companies that they were considering for acquisition prior to shifting attention to Activision Blizzard, those companies were Thunderful, Supergiant Games, Niantic, Playrix, Zynga, Bungie, IO Interactive, and or Scopely.
Hmm.
So
Zynga's
there was
that's a big one, Zynga.
yes, they are pretty big in the
so
mobile.
so I'm guessing they're doing they're not doing old school redacting. They're not taking a printed document and a black marker and running through. They're doing something
Well,
digital online, and
most likely.
somebody hacks it. Well, what if I change the background not to gray? Oh yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you redact a PDF, there are ways to unredact it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. But to be fair, if you redact it with marker and it is an extensive redaction, you get real high off the fumes. Ask me
Yeah,
how I know.
Or
Speaking
encouragement.
from
I want to do
experience.
it. I'll do this.
Oh gosh. That's
There was
hilarious.
also some interesting comments from Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella. He was lamenting the use of console exclusives, and he said that he always believed that software should run on as many platforms as possible. And he just said that he has no love for exclusives in the world, which I thought was pretty silly. He's the guy who can make the change, so my dude, say no. And Joseph Tao actually also had some commentary on that. He said, "It is funny to see the CEO of Microsoft complaining about console exclusives when he could just order Phil Spencer not to do them anymore."
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
So that's insincere. And there was a proposal from Xbox to keep Call of Duty and Activision games on PlayStation. It was not meaningful, according to Sony's CEO Jim Ryan, because key titles were missing. For example, the offer included Overwatch, but not Overwatch 2. And the deal was not negotiated. Spencer sent it to Ryan via email, and Ryan rejected it without a counter proposal. Thought that was really interesting. That's pretty that's rude to offer Overwatch but not Overwatch 2, because like who's still playing Overwatch after Overwatch 2 comes out, right?
I don't know. I feel like there's people don't like change, Shaline.
Mm-hmm. You're right. It's me. I'm people. Mm-hmm.
They get used to a game, a particular version, and they got their buddies playing, and it's there.
Well, and we how many times have we seen it with a new version of a game where we play it and we're
Mm-hmm.
like, this is not as good as the previous version, right?
True.
Or there's certain elements that are like critical maybe to Overwatch that they took out in the second version and they have no plans to include. Who knows? But
The next item I wanted to talk about was that VGC reported that Ryan told investors in early 2022, around a month after the Microsoft Activision deal was announced, that publishers unanimously do not like Game Pass because it is value destructive. And I thought you guys might want to have a conversation about that. That's really, really interesting to me because in a way, it really is value destructive. When everything is on Game Pass and you have so much available via Game Pass, that makes you less inclined to buy games, doesn't it? It does me.
I mean, you could argue that there's a psychological component to it when a subgroup of the population who has access to Games Pass for such amount of time get so used to cheap access or free access to games that when they actually end their subscription with Game Pass, they are faced with the reality of paying full price and then are less likely to buy a game because of that time spent with Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Or
As
or
a, as
just
a non Game Pass owner, I don't have Game Pass, and I'm not sure if I will get it. Starfield may be the reason, but um, I don't know. I don't
how
know.
much is a subscription?
Uh, I believe currently it's $9.99 a month for just base Game Pass.
No, that's not that's a good price point.
Well, and
Mm-hmm.
Shaline, I mean, you have how many times has it paid for itself?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's been worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But
um,
if it depends. Is it value destructive on the side of the consumer? Or is it value destructive on the side of the consumer for the company? Um, I don't know.
yeah, I definitely I'm interested to see, now that we've had Game Pass, that now that it's been in the world for a couple of years, I'm interested to see data and see, have the games that have been on Game Pass, have their sales suffered, have, what's the difference in their revenue based on what they would have sold without Game Pass versus what they were paid to have their games on Game Pass. Really interested to see that data, and I hope we start to see that soon.
I wonder if if that could potentially spur like a fluctuation in price points for games too. Could this signal a future drop in the price of games overall? Could we not be paying $80 a month or $80 for that new shiny AAA game? Could it maybe be $40?
Yeah, probably not.
Can we just go back to what it used to be? Can we go back to when it was good? Gosh.
Daddy-O in chat says that he pays $14.99 a month, and that's with Xbox Live, Game Pass PC, and Xbox. That's the plan that I have as well. So,
I mean, if you gave that money up for a year, you got enough money to buy it, 2 or 3 games, but that's it.
With the opportunities that you have to play unlimited amounts of games on Game Pass, why wouldn't you take that? Yeah. I love it. It's hard to talk about Game Pass without sounding like an absolute shill every time, every single time. This podcast is not sponsored by Game Pass yet. Call us, Phil Spencer.
And I guess you maybe if you have Game Pass, you feel more obligated to spend more time playing games because you don't want to waste any of this money.
That's why I don't have it, because I literally don't have the time to play new additional games on top of my tried and true favorites that I run back to as a mental therapy session, right?
Right.
So I don't think I need to tell either of you that. You both understand it.
Our next item is the purchase of Hellblade developer Ninja Theory. That purchase was $117 million, according to an internal email that IGN reported on. So I thought that was some interesting information. 117 million for Ninja Theory. I think they got a deal. Those guys can make a game. And there were also some emails that were shared by Bloomberg's Jason Schreier between Bethesda's Pete Hines and Phil Spencer, questioning why the Activision Blizzard acquisition is so much different to the acquisition of ZeniMax. Hines cited the original Xbox blog post that said Activision Blizzard's games would continue to be released on PlayStation, which is the opposite of what happened with Bethesda. A 2021 email from Phil Spencer to Tim Stewart, shared by Axios' Stephen Totillo, offered insight into how the company decides which multi-platform games it allows into other services. Minecraft, for example, was not allowed into PlayStation Now because that is a competitor to Xbox Game Pass. But Spencer said he was fine with Fallout 76 going into PlayStation Now because we either need to see this thing getting to 10 million monthly active users across all platforms or decide to move on from it. So
it's always about money.
It really is. That does seem to have worked out for him, though, because I believe 76 was recently reported to be at 15 million regular users. So
regular users. Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah. And another item that I just wanted to report on, remember that Bethesda Indiana Jones game that was revealed a couple of years ago? The original agreement between ZeniMax and Disney was for that game to be a multi-platform title, but Pete Hines revealed that this agreement was amended to make the game exclusive to Xbox and PC, as well as arriving day one on Game Pass. So that's disappointing for PlayStation fans. Ars Technica reported that the FTC pointed to ZeniMax exclusives on Xbox platforms as powerful evidence that Microsoft's assurances of multi-platform Call of Duty cannot be trusted. The commission said Microsoft's actions speak louder than words, noting that all ZeniMax titles announced since the acquisition have been exclusive to Xbox. Starfield, The Elder Scrolls 6, and now Indiana Jones have also been made exclusive. Microsoft claimed the situation will be more akin to the availability of Minecraft on all platforms, but the FTC said the context for Call of Duty is very different. And that really sums up the highlights of this article. I just wanted to cover some of the things that popped up during that conversation.
So, Shaline, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think Microsoft did
in the
that?
trial?
Yeah. Yeah. Based on this
That's
information.
I feel like they didn't make a great case for themselves. I'm going to say it was like a 6.
Yeah.
I feel like they definitely have not shown that what they are doing is in the best interest of the industry or of the consumer.
Yeah.
So,
and how do we feel? What do we think about how this means for the future of Microsoft?
Yeah, does it matter how they failed, how they came off in the trial?
I mean, that's the question, right?
mm-hmm.
So, I
Are they
think
going to get? Is the FTC going to break up Microsoft up and split them up? And
no.
Now, the worst case scenario for Microsoft here is that they are not allowed to purchase Activision Blizzard, which I think would probably end in like a shell company purchasing Activision
I was going
Blizzard.
to say yes.
You
We'll
know,
just something else.
Is there precedence? Because like has there been other examples where there's been government intervention to
oh,
prevent the purchase
absolutely,
of
yeah,
large corporations
absolutely, yeah.
in the US?
There was a phone one about a decade ago. I don't remember who the involved parties were, but the government has intervened in some situations to prevent antitrust situations. So
But one could
it's
argue
definitely got precedent.
one could argue it's not anything really that people need. It's just games.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. It's a
What?
luxury item.
It's not. It's not. One could argue. I
As
wouldn't.
I unhook it from my veins, it's just
You know,
games.
it's not a phone. It's not a phone network. It's not oil company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not essential, right? If there's a hurricane and you lose power, the first thing you're thinking of is my fridge, my food, my ability
Mm-hmm.
to call for emergency services. You're not thinking, oh my God, Call of Duty, my campaign just ended.
Well, actually,
Well, the government maybe should consider it essential because they want to keep people playing games and happy.
Yeah. Oh, there may
interesting.
come a day in the future where we're so plugged in that that is actually a reality. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, speaking of plugging in, um, Bethesda has assured the consumer that Starfield will be a modder's paradise that Bethesda will participate in. This is according to a PC Gamer article by Joshua Woolens. And this was a conversation that Todd Howard had with the Kind of Funny X cast. So he basically confirmed Bethesda's commitment to making Starfield a canvas for modders to do their thing. Howard was asked how excited he was about Starfield's scope for modding, and he said, I think Starfield is going to be kind of a modder's paradise. It's part of our DNA here. We've been doing it for over 20 years. He's confirmed in the past that Starfield will be moddable, and of course, Bethesda has a long and storied history of being a mod friendly developer and publisher, but he's really focusing on the fact that Bethesda wants to be involved in this. It's important for us not just to enable modding, but to participate. They want to make it easy for modders to make it where they can make it not just a hobby, but a career. Which to me brings to mind the Creation Club that was part of Skyrim and Fallout 4, where, of course, they basically hired popular modders to create things that they then sold for real money to the player. And that was not hugely popular among players. I did buy a couple of Creation Club things for Fallout 4 and enjoyed them,
Creation Club
but
really flopped.
it did.
It totally
It was
flopped.
not a huge success. And I mean, this article seems really optimistic, but frankly, I don't believe Todd Howard anymore. I don't trust him. He's the new Peter Molyneux to me. I just that stunning jawline hides lies. You know, He's trying to distract us with his piercing blue eyes and his boyish, handsome, good looks.
Curly locks of hair. And
Now,
a
are there DLCs in this game
starchy
too?
leather coat.
I don't know. They haven't confirmed, to my knowledge, whether or not there will be paid DLC or free DLC for Starfield.
Yeah.
But they've been promising us Fallout 76 mods for years and years now, and we haven't seen them. And I don't trust them anymore. I don't. The trust is gone. The trust is gone.
I think it's worth the money for a gaming development company to enable mods for their games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's extra work to try to put in the hooks for it, and you have to manage and police it somehow. But your game
It
just
really depends on the game, because if we take Farm Sim, for example, absolutely fantastic support by Giant Software to build a community that mods. There's thousands of mods that are available for people, and they work well for the most part.
yeah.
And it's well integrated into the user interface right in Farm Sim. Like you can just go and select all the mods that you want right in Farm Sim. There's no need to drag and drop them into some folder or find them somewhere and download them if you don't want to do that. But not every game is like that. I think I would like to see some mods for Starfield. Just given how we talked about this 1,000 planet thing and the probability of finding a planet with life is like less than 10%. So
let's see modders do some wild things with some of those unoccupied planets.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or
I'd
like
love that.
a mod that increases the odds of certain settlements and things like I don't know. Yeah.
We have a little bit of commentary in the chat. Sullivan Sevens Racing says Eleonora. He mentions Eleonora, and she was hired by Bethesda to make some of the Creation Club mods. I bought one of her houses that she made for Fallout 4, and it was a nice little player house. I really appreciated having a pre-furnished, pre-built house. One of my big complaints about both Fallout 4 and 76 is that if you want to have a comfortable place to live, you've got to build it yourself. And I don't want to do that.
I just want to get playing.
Yeah.
Yes, who's got time for that?
Shalene's not a builder, but some of us would argue that building is playing.
And Daddy-O says that he saw in some videos that they are planning DLC for Starfield. So thank you for that correction, Daddy-O. Sater also points out that modding a single player game or a private server game is probably really different than modding an MMO, which is absolutely true, Sater.
Good observation. Yeah.
It is absolutely true, and maybe I'm being unfair, but if that was out of their reach, they shouldn't have promised it. They should have said,
Bethesda
"We'll
operates.
try. We'll try."
Overpromise and underdeliver. Right.
It just works. Just barely.
Just barely. You can start it up and get through the character creation before you see your first glitch.
Okay, so speaking of custom things, I would like to talk about our next article, which is something that infuriated me a little bit.
Why?
So Xbox revealed a Barbie themed Xbox Series X, to go along with the movie release for the Barbie movie. Okay. And this pink Barbie themed Xbox, and they have a pink Barbie themed controller and several controller skins to go over it. And I was super excited about this because I thought it was really cute, and I wanted to buy that controller and the controller skins. And I was absolutely ready to just give Microsoft my money. But this isn't for sale. It's not for sale. They created it as a part of a giveaway. You can participate in a competition on the Microsoft Rewards page on July the 10th. You can win those Xbox controller faceplates to look like Barbie's and Ken's outfits. I really like the second one from the right. That's the one that I'm all about.
The controller?
But yeah, the controller second from the right. That's my favorite. I think it's rad.
Oh, this the zebra print, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, I can't buy it, and I most certainly will not win it. So it is not to be. And I was really annoyed that they didn't just make those for us to buy. They've also put Barbie's dream car into Forza,
What?
which I thought was Forza Horizon. Yes, look at this Barbie car. I love it.
Oh, this one here you're talking about.
Isn't it fabulous? I love it so much. So you can drive that Barbie car in Forza Horizon 5, which I thought was pretty fun. So
Just don't break a nail.
I'm super into it. Super into it. But
That's so cute.
yes, if the Microsoft intern is listening, the Thintern, now is a Microsoft employee. If you could hook me up with the controller faceplates.
Man, Barbie's really getting desperate.
Mm-hmm. These Barbie movie marketing people have been earning their money. I tell you what, this movie has been ubiquitous. You've seen it everywhere. It's wild.
Yeah.
That's it for the news. That's all I've got. Joseph did have a bit of commentary. He wonders why it was a Series S and not a Series X. My guess would be probably because it's cheaper to make a Series S and they're just giving it away.
Possibly.
Not selling it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, if that's it for the news, let's hop right into the stocks. As always, these prices are in comparison to our previous episode last week, episode 152. Sony closed out at $85.74, up $3.03. That was at 4 p.m. today. Microsoft closing out at $255.29, up $6. Ironic.
That was after the FTC decision.
After the FTC decision. Nintendo down just 6 cents at $9.53. Take-Two closing out up $13.40 at $116.70. Activision up $2.57 at $79.39. Ubisoft $22.89, up $1.53. EA went up $3.38 at $113.15, and Tencent also up $3.52, closing out at $47.12. All of the stocks are up this week. I don't know what's going on, but everybody is happy, and
it's just inflation.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it has something to do with some other area of the stock market, but we only speculate on this show. We don't really give you any financial advice, so, So that is the stocks. We don't have any mail, right, Shaline?
No mail today.
No mail today, but we do have some screenshots and stories. Let's talk about what people have been playing. All right, so this is my screenshot and story. I have two of them. So this is the first one. And this is a screenshot in Astroneer. And Jess and I were exploring around and trying to find a new place to build a base. And I climbed to the very tippy top of this mountain. And you can see the curvature of the Earth, or of the planet. Planets are not flat in this game, which is nice.
I was about to say, this is plainly a hoax.
Yeah.
The curvature of the planet.
But I just love that widescreen, and you can see the moon off in the background, and the aurora borealis, or the Milky Way, or whatever it is. It's beautiful.
It's a gorgeous screenshot.
Yeah. Here's another one of me giving the thumbs up on the top of that mountain with the moon in the background.
I like your diving helmet.
Yeah, this is my little space suit. And I don't know if you noticed, but on the top right of my suit, I've got a little creature.
Oh.
He's connected to my suit, and when I feed him plant seeds, he actually lights up, and he acts as a lantern, and he lights the whole area. It's super cute.
Oh.
Yeah, Astroneer is like one of my favorite games. It's so coveted. It's such a chill game, and it's so enjoyable. It can be pretty stressful when you're looking for oxygen because, you're on planets with non-breathable atmospheres, but yeah. Then we have, what is this, Shaline? Help me out here. What is this? This is from Seder.
This is 2 pine cones sitting on a bench, and they've eaten an apple. Apparently, these 2 pine cones. They have little arms and legs. They're very cute.
Yeah, this is from Seder. This is Bramble, the Mountain King. And Sater says, seems like a nice, cute game. Play hide and seek with some gnomes. Heard some naked pumpkin-headed babies. And here's the next picture of her with the gnomes. And
The gnomes are so
she's going
cute.
into the garden. It's adorable, right? And here's the little pumpkin-headed babies. Do you see it?
Oh,
Do you see it? I'm gonna zoom in.
babies.
There it is. Look
You
how
should
it's so
a lot of
creepy.
those. Need a lot of those to make a pie.
Oh no, they're babies.
Pumpkin-headed baby pie. Okay. Um, and then they say, well, then it takes a turn.
This one has a content warning for gore.
Oh,
And for our audio listeners, they are standing waist deep in guts in some sort of chamber.
That is
There's, like-
absolutely awful.
Yeah, it looks kind of gross. Anyways, that is the screenshots and stories. How can people submit a screenshot, Shaline?
You can submit your screenshots and stories by visiting our Discord server and just pop right into the screenshots and stories channel and post your stuff. We love to see it. We love for you to share these. And frankly, this is my favorite segment of the show when we get to check these out.
It's good. It is good. Yeah, so that is what the community is playing. We're going to hop into what we're playing in a moment, but I thought we could start with our special segment this evening and talking to you, Raven, about your perspectives on games. I thought we could have a conversation around where we started playing video games and how games have evolved for us through our lifetimes of playing video games. And I'll let you start, Raven. So when did you start? So first of all, tell us a little bit about what kind of games you like to play, and what got you into video games.
I like to play simulation games, driving, hunting, trains, boats, planes, sort of thing. Those sort of easy paced games. And I'm not big on a shoot 'em up game. I just can't deal with the stress of trying to remember all the different weapons that I'm supposed to have. And I can't really, my left hand doesn't really have the flexibility to do the buttons fast enough, and it's
Yeah.
so but I started off playing games, I don't know, first computers when it was, acoustic coupler modems and dial up to a mainframe and
Jeez, when the
playing.
computers were the size of rooms.
Yeah, exactly. And playing a text-based game, Zork. I don't know if there's probably, I don't know, I'm guessing there's no listeners out there. You can still get Zork. Zork is on Steam, and I think it's probably free. It's text-based. It's one of these things. You are in a room. To the north of you is a door. To the east of you is, whatever, like this. Go north, open door. You are now here. You are now there. So you go from room to room trying to picking up things that you can use, torches and water bottles and stuff. And there's a monster in it. Every once in a while, there's a thing that says, you have been eaten by a grue. A grue, whatever it is.
Yeah. Daddy-O in the
So-
chat. Daddy-O in the chat says, "Oh, Zork, I have the original DOS version."
Yes. DOS version. Yeah.
Oh, DOS.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
just FYI, the Zork anthology is part of the Steam summer sale for $3.89.
It's
I
amazing.
mean, I would say get, because it's but I don't know what the online one is, but what this one is, but you very much needed a pencil and paper, and draw a little box and connect the rooms, because they didn't always connect. It was sort of a three-dimensional type thing. The way they'd connect up, you go out one door and you'd come in the wrong door of the other room.
Mhm.
So
So have you always played video games through your whole life?
I didn't start playing games until 2010.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
Just a big gap there where I didn't really get into it. And then in 2010, I got into Train Sim Classic, a game that has, that's a game that has a lot of mods. that kept a bad game going for a long time because the mods were switching scenarios and maps and stuff like this. So, and it went from train sim, various simulators into ETS2 for a while, truck sim, and then when ATS eventually, I didn't leap into ATS because it was very much it seemed to be a simpler version of the original European version, but eventually ATS has sort of caught up.
It's come a long way. Yeah.
But I was looking, Hunter Call of the Wild, I played for quite a while, and I've just bought a new
Hmm.
DLC I might get into. It's Emerald Coast of Australia with crocs and such,
Hmm.
and farm sim, a lot of farm sim.
Yeah. I think that's partially my fault.
Yeah, yeah, 17, 19, 22, whatever. Yeah.
So what do games mean to you now then?
Um, I think games. I want a game I want a game that is complicated enough that you have to do a bit of work and bit of studying to get into it and to figure out how to do it. My son got me started playing just a few days ago Open TDD, which is an open source version of Tycoon, I think, which is an old game. It's sort of an 8-bit thing, but there's an awful lot of stuff you have to learn to play it. So I don't know whether I get there. My son and I, we started playing War Game Red Dragon a few years ago. Potential for a lot of complexity, but it was just, I just want to, I just want to drive my tractor up and down a field. Oh,
There's a lot of satisfaction that comes with that. You
yeah,
don't
or just my
you
truck.
don't
I
have
just
to justify that to me.
let's get a cargo, let's plot the route, let's drive our truck somewhere.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like that. And a bonus is if I can do a multiplayer and not a multiplayer like the Truckers MP was, where it was just a
That
clown
was a
show
huge thing when they introduced multiplayer in ETS and ATS.
in the game, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, because it was a third party, and it was terrible as a third party because there was no control.
It
It
was
was just
arcade mode. Like it was just wild. Yeah. Yeah.
idiots running into you. So
Yeah.
that was nice. So I mean, I like, if possible, I like to get into some sort of multiplayer and just chat with people and play a game together.
Mhm. Mhm. That's how we became friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just want me to help? Can I help with your field? Sure. Okay.
Yeah. What about you, Shaline? Where did you start with video games and has that evolved for you and what do they mean to you today?
I feel like I've kind of told my gamer origin story on the show several times, but I've been playing games since I was a little tiny girl. I was 2 or 3, like just a very small toddler, wearing a ladybug costume. And my first platform was the Atari 2600. Played a lot of Frogger and intentionally murdered that poor little innocent frog. Um, that kind of thing. Lots of Pitfall. I loved Pitfall. I loved combat with the tanks. That was my jam. And now gaming has become so much more than just a fun thing to do. It's also the community that where I've found some of the best friends in my life, and um, it's just, yeah, it's a wonderful pastime, and I have absolutely met the most important people in my life through video games, and it's been absolutely life changing for me. So
Hmm.
yeah, yay video games.
I actually started out on Sega Genesis. That was my Actually no, that's not true. My first gaming platform ever was Macintosh 2.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. I played Star Trek and Sim Ants. Sim Ants was like a earlier version of Sim City, but it was an ant colony, and you had to build little tunnels, and the ant you could see the ants scurrying, and you had to put little food in different places, and so that was floppy disk. No, that was hard disk. It was hard disk. Um, but we did play some games on floppy disk in elementary school. I can't quite remember. I'm not sure if those were Macintosh 2 or not, but uh, we did have a Sega Genesis though at home, and Sonic really was my first sort of into the 2D slash 3D sort of type video games.
Hmm.
We never grew up with an NES in my household. We went from a Sega Genesis to an N64, and then people split off and had their own little consoles and games and things after that. But um, yeah, it really was. I do really enjoy sim games. Actually, now that I think of it, like going back to Sim Ant, and then games where you're racing against a clock, or you're racing or you're driving or something like that. Sonic, obviously, there was that side-scrolling aspect of the game, but then Mario Kart and N64. And I
Hmm.
remember playing like the original Grand Theft Auto on my Compaq's Perserio PC, which had like 10 gigabyte hard drive. Whoa. And so um yeah, but I think it's the same for me. Like games, it's not just about video games anymore. It's also about people. It's part of my social life, it's part of my identity, and I really enjoy playing video games because it is also a form of escapism, and a little bit therapeutic in a way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
And you learn. I mean, you can get a job now as a farmer or a trucker.
I mean, I just had dinner with some colleagues on Tuesday, and one of my colleagues said, "Oh, you should just like get your class 1 and drive truck to make some extra money on the side." I'm like, "Actually, I can drive an 18 speed." And they were like, "What?" I'm like, "Yes."
Can't
So,
you?
yeah. Yeah. So,
I was having a conversation, I think, with my mom the other day, and we were talking about like when in movies, like in fiction, when something happens to the pilot and one of the passengers has to land the plane. And I was telling my mom, like, I would just hope that Vendor was on the plane with me.
I mean, I'm sure like ATC could probably talk me through it.
I am so confident that you could safely set us down. Just I would not worry at all. I feel like you could just talk to the people and safely land that plane.
Think, and probably the stewardess would say, "Can I have your attention? Just wondering, is there anybody on the plane who plays flight simulator? Just asking."
There's always a flight simulator player on a plane somewhere that's like,
Yeah,
"Can I
Hmm.
can I see the cockpit? Can I take a picture of the cockpit?"
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The last flight I was on, actually, it's so funny because there's a saying for pilots, like when your landing is really good, they call it butter landing.
Hmm.
Is it
Yeah.
smooth as butter, right? And it was so funny on my last flight. Like the captain was actually out of the cabin, and the FO was there too, and I was walking off with my luggage, and I'm like, "That landing, gents, butter," and they were like, "Oh!" They're laughing so hard. So yeah, it was kind of cute moment, but
That's great.
yeah, games have become so much more than what they used to be, right? We learn from them. I have developed skills that I never thought that I would have, like calculating flight paths and trajectories, and wind speeds, and figuring out how to float gears on an Eaton Fuller 18-speed transmission,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
how you grow certain crops and fertilize
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like if your neighbor's trying to back a trailer into a driveway, oh, I could do that.
yeah, yeah.
I love it. Something that's really interesting about video games as a medium is that I feel that it inspires empathy in a way that experiencing narratives through other platforms do not, because you are doing it, you are taking those actions, you are in someone else's shoes. And I feel like that's especially true with the sim games, because some of them are super super realistic. You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's
Yeah, it's true, and I think when you think of some other games too, Fallout 76, Sea of Thieves, um, it's endless, right? And some of the narrative-based games like The Last of Us and um, It Takes Two, powerful
mm-hmm.
stories The Council. What's some
Mhm.
other ones that we've played? Life is Strange.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. All fantastic, fantastic story-based games that really get you thinking about people and relationships and and then you draw on the parallelisms between that
Hmm.
game and your own life, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this has been a good discussion. Is there anything else that anybody wants to add? Raven, do you want to add anything?
No, no. Oh, actually, there's a game that somebody gave me that I use for my writing in science fiction. Universe Sandbox, which is a physics three body problem universe simulator.
Okay.
But you can construct different kinds of solar systems, different sizes of planets and moons, and see how things would react. So when you're trying to invent a world or a series of worlds, you can make it realistic enough so that people aren't going to complain that, well, that's not a realistic story, even though it's fiction.
Yeah, I think I've seen
Sounds
this. I've
fantastic.
seen this on Steam, Universe Sandbox.
And
Yeah.
sci-fi readers are the worst about like that's not realistic and
Yeah, yeah.
and
You can't have fire in
yeah.
space.
Hmm.
Uh, well, the thing is, you have to be consistent, I guess, with your people are willing to take a leap uh, into a leap from reality if you're like if you've got magic and you invent characters that act in a certain way, then there have to be sort of magic rules that
Hmm.
they can't just suddenly towards the end of the book, oh, did I mention this person can teleport? No, you're just doing that so you can
Yeah.
you can finish the story.
Yeah.
They have to earn that. They
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to earn it.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. So in addition to games, you're also a streamer. Is that correct?
Who,
Raven?
me?
Raven? Yeah.
Yeah, I had been. I haven't been lately, but I did do a lot of streaming on mostly trucking, I guess.
And
Uh,
that is mostly on Twitch.
Mostly on Twitch. Yeah. My links are all probably all my links to everything is probably on my blog, which is ravensview.ca.
Yes. So if you're listening to the show live, go check out Raven. Shoot him a follow on Twitch, twitch.tv/ravensview.
Yeah.
If you are listening after the fact, you can also find his channel there with periodic videos and streaming. Um, and yeah,
I actually got up to the stage where I was a Twitch associate for a while, which is
affiliate,
affiliate. Is that what it is?
affiliate.
Funny.
Yeah, that's the step between.
But then I wanted
Mhm.
to stream to several channels, and they don't let you do that. They won't let you simultaneously stream. So it was with difficulty that I got them to revert that. And can you cancel my membership? I don't want this. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, yeah. I was affiliate as well for a while, but it actually turned out that I was paying more to file my tax return than I was actually making in revenue on Twitch being affiliate.
And you
Uh,
get all these annoying ads and
yeah, yeah. It's just like not worth it. So
apologizing. Sorry, there's an ad. Sorry,
yeah,
another.
yeah.
And I'm getting a penny now or half a penny.
Mhm.
Half a penny for 4 ads.
Yeah.
I found a loophole, and hopefully Twitch doesn't pick up on it. But I watch streamers on Twitch on my iPad, but then I stream it to my TV. And for some reason, because I'm streaming it to my TV, when
Ah.
people get the ads, when the ads pop up, I don't get the ads.
Oh wow.
So it's like really nice. I get to continue watching the streamer just like I had subscribed with no ads, and everybody has to deal and sit through the string of ads, which is funny. But yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I guess now's a good time to pop into what we've been playing lately. And Raven, I'll let you take the lead on this. What have you been playing? What games have you been playing?
Guess. Uh, guess.
Farm Sim.
Them? Yes. A little bit of some of the other ones I mentioned. The Hunter Call of the Wild.
That's a
But
great game. I
yeah,
love that game.
because but it's a hard game to stream because it's a very, I feel it's a boring game to stream because I'm not
There's a
good at
lot of creeping around, being
it.
quiet and
It's,
standing still.
well, look, it's realistic. Oh, I hate
Hmm.
that part. It's a lot of, I used to hunt my younger days. There's a lot of waiting and creeping around the bush and not finding any animals. If you're really good in the game, I've watched good streamers and they know all the places, all the tricks and stuff, and they just go from carnage to carnage. They're just, you know, killing left, right, and center. But no, not for me.
Yeah,
So I,
there's a certain element of Hunter Call of the Wild that's quite calming.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. But it's calming as a single person. I don't want to do it multiplayer, but
No, no. Yeah.
uh, no, mostly farm sim. Just
And
I
how's your farm?
Farm is doing well. It's doing well. I think I've mastered. I found a farm I like, Edgewater, and I've got a mix of animals and equipment and stuff that I like, and now it's just sort of going in and going through the going through the steps. I've got straw processing plants that are run by a bunch of urchins. So
Shaline,
keep
he has a hat store, a straw hat
He has
store.
a hat store?
I make hats and handbags. Well,
Oh,
I don't. The urchins from the village do it. But
that is fantastic.
that's my fantasy and my backstory is it keeps them off the street and they work in my.
Yes, my love of hats is a bit of a legendary thing on this podcast. So,
I can send you up.
um,
I can send you a
yes.
worth of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a picture of the front face of your shop because
Oh,
it's
that's true. It'd
it's
be
really nice. There's like hats and there's piles of hats everywhere.
yeah.
It's just
I
so
love
many.
it.
Yeah.
Should put a picture of your farm. The new thing that you added to
Oh, my
your
farmer's market. Yeah.
farmers
Yeah.
market. It's very much a driving down a country road. Oh, look, there's a market. Let's buy some stuff.
Yeah, we've got it really set up. I would say like, we've set on this map called Edgewater, Saskatchewan, and Raven's got his farm down in the south corner of the map and he's got all these fields and I'm up on the other corner and then Taz is over on the other side and we just have our places and it's pretty fun. Yeah. It's really chill. And like I said, I switched our server over to a Lenovo laptop that I have, and it's been running
Hmm.
smooth ever since. The odd blip here and there, but nowhere near the problems that we used to have.
I mentioned that to my son actually, he put this open TDD that we were playing. He rented a server just a couple of days ago for me and him. I'm playing with my son and his son. The three of us are playing on this
Hmm.
game, and he'd rented a server, and I said, "Oh, my friend Jamie just got an old laptop, and he's running it." And my son is, "Duh, shit! Why didn't I think of that? Thanks, Dad." I got an old HP laptop, so he's going to set
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's easy to do. I think more and more people are doing that because everybody's got old hardware around, it seems,
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
and bandwidth is cheap. So
the thing is that there is a tutorial out there somewhere for the server that you want to build. And all
yeah,
you got to do is find that YouTube video and just follow the steps, right?
yeah.
I think probably the hardest part was going into my router and opening some ports up
Right.
because you've got to pull up the command window and
You
you've
have to
got to
do
run.
that manually.
Yeah, but
Uh,
other than that, it was pretty straightforward. So
be secured. I'd be worried about security, but
yeah,
don't know.
my network is secure here at home. Like
Yeah,
yeah, so I'm not too worried. But that does remind me that I actually have to end the subscription for that server with um
yeah. Where you're paying money for something that doesn't work
yeah because the month is almost up and it's probably going to renew. So
automatically.
yeah,
Hmm.
but yeah. Any other games you've been
Well,
playing?
No, no.
Well, I've been playing Farm Sim, of course. It's a new season, so we've come through winter. It was an arduous, hard, cold winter. I was cutting grass while it was snowing, um, and I don't have any of my crops in yet, except for poplar. So last year I did some poplar, or the year before, and it takes about 12 to 14 months for it to grow. So Raven actually helped me rejig my field. He ripped out some trees and created some new field areas where we could plant, so that there's not as many crazy turns and stuff, because there was pots on the field where there was bunches of trees and stuff. So
Hmm.
he did some clear cutting, and then I think it was last night we actually hopped in our tractors with our planters, and we were planting poplars just along the field. It was great.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Great.
It looks quite nice. It looks quite nice. Just rows and rows in this pattern.
yeah, it turned out really nice. So I think that, and it's so funny because as we're going along and planting, I was like, what is that off in the distance? Are those weeds growing? Hop out of the tractor, run over to the other side of the field. Oh, it's poplar. Oh, it's old poplar from the previous crop. Oh, it grows back. Oh, I guess we don't have to. We didn't have to actually have to plant this, but in hindsight, it was better because we wanted to clear those trees out anyways. But yeah,
Yeah,
so the season has started. It's April right now. I've got my poplars in. Raven's got most of his fields in, I think. I
yeah.
still
I got
have to plant my canola and my sunflower, but that's not till May. So
it, May. Yeah.
yeah. And eventually, I think the first cut of the ditches will have to be done as well. I always like to cut the ditches because you get extra grass, and then we turn the grass into digestate, which we use for fertilizer for our fields. So
Nice.
yeah,
Or hay for the cows.
or hay for the cows. I also have been playing a bit of ATS. I did like 1.5 hauls. I started a haul and it was too long, and Jess wanted to play Astroneer, and so I quit it, and then I went back to it, and at that point the job was too late, so I just abandoned it. So I did half of it, but I did do an ATS haul today because I took the day off work because tomorrow is Canada Day,
Yeah.
and it's a long weekend. So I did do an ATS haul today, which was kind of nice. It's nice to hop in back into that. I've also been playing Astroneer with Jess. Our base has come along quite well. We are pretty much almost done all of the quests and side quests or missions in the game. There is one final part of the game where you've got to dig to the center of the planet that you're on in the planet core. But I'm also thinking that there's planet cores on all the other planets in our little galaxy that we live in.
Hmm.
So we have quite a bit of work to do on that, but she is on vacation traveling in northern United States. I think she's in Idaho right now. So we won't be playing any Astroneer for a while. We also did play some Deep Rock Galactic. It's the new season on Deep Rock Galactic, but we only played a little bit of it because we hate the plague stuff that they added for this season. So
Oh, I saw a thing on Steam telling me that that was on sale. Yeah.
it is very shooty and quick and possibly not up your alley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, I usually
okay.
check the trailer out first. Yeah.
Okay. So now, the game that has taken all of my attention over the last week. So last weekend, I'm not sure if I talked about this on the show, but my partner and I have been playing this app gambling game called My Vegas,
No,
and
you didn't mention this.
it's like I feel like a 50-year-old grandma on Facebook just playing Farmville on hours on end. I'm playing My Vegas, like I wake up and I start the app. It's so bad. But you get rewards that you can use in like real life. So by playing
Okay, tell me more.
Okay, so basically it's like slots, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
just play slots, and you win gold, and the gold is obviously all fake currency, but every time you gamble, you get rewards, and the rewards can be used towards all kinds of different things: travel packages, hotel packages, restaurants, casino rewards, retail, and all kinds of things. Right now I've
Oh,
got about 50,000 rewards points, that's enough for a free night on the Strip in Vegas at like Planet Hollywood.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Right? So I've
Now,
been
your rewards aren't just for Vegas, though, are they?
No. The rewards can be applied to other places too.
Okay,
So like
anywhere.
the ice district here in Edmonton, I know that Ottawa also has an ice district, but we have a large casino here in the Rogers Arena. You can use some of the rewards in the restaurants there. So if we wanted to go out for dinner, I could use those rewards to pay for our meal. So it's been kind of fun. We've been playing. He has like 80,000 points or whatever, rewards points, which is like way more. But the best part of it is last Thursday or Friday, my app glitched out. Okay. Now, in the app, there is every day you can collect. You can collect a free reward. So there is 8 million in gold that you can collect, and then every 2 hours you can collect 800,000 in gold. And then of course the gold is used to gamble in all of the different slot games, right? But I have some sort of glitch in my app that allows me to watch a 30-second ad and get 2 million gold. And there's no timer on it. It just keeps resetting
Oh,
and resetting and
wow.
resetting. So I've been rewatching ads over and over and over again since last Friday, and I have like 900 million gold, and it is so glorious. And Carlo is so mad because he doesn't have the glitch, and he has no money because he gambled all his money away and he lost everything.
Oh, that's
And I
amazing.
just keep getting all this gold, and the ad just keeps running, and I just keep collecting, and it's so brilliant. It's just the best. So, yeah, I should actually be having it running in the background and just collecting because
That is brilliant.
yeah.
I think I might have to try that because I
It's
really
actually
enjoy
quite
slot machines.
it's quite a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Like I get a pretty good dopamine response out of it. So
Yeah, I may have to
Right?
check that out.
and I'm like there's casinos in New Mexico, right?
Yes.
So there's
yeah.
probably see, I didn't even collect my daily bonus yet. Look at that. look at it. 8 million
There you go.
400,000 gold. So yeah. But it's cute. Like you can oh, hold on. There's all these like stupid ads and microtransactions as you would expect with
Mhm.
any sort of app.
But you don't have to do the microtransactions to
No,
have
of
fun.
course not. Of course not. So there's all these oh, more hold on. So there's okay. So there's see when you start the app up for the first time. Okay. So there's all these different slots that you can choose from.
Mhm.
And a lot of them are like themed around certain things. So there's like Alice in Wonderland, and then there's like Gold Mine and like pandas and I don't know, Luxor Link.
Yeah, those look actually pretty similar to some actual slots that you
Yeah.
can find in casinos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
So it's terrible. It's taken over my life. I was in a meeting the other day for work, and I was just like collecting. While I was in the meeting, it was so bad.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is
Yeah.
brilliant.
Anyways, that's what I've been playing. What have you been up to, Shaline?
Well, I have gone back to some Fallout 76 for the new season of homework and the new content. The homework is just the homework, you know, it's just completing the daily challenges and ranking up on the scoreboard. I think I'm in the neighborhood of rank 30. There is so they added a bundle to the Atom shop that was a Boy Scout themed bundle. And I bought this bundle because it includes an ant farm. And the ant farm is massive.
Oh my God.
It's huge. I put it down in my underground shelter. Do you remember the shelters, right? It fills the entire room, this ant farm. It's that big. And it has, you know, big Fallout sized ants in it. And they're running around just, you know, being their little ant selves, living their best ant lives. And I find it hilarious that it's just this incredibly scaled up ant farm. It's so silly and I love it.
That is such a random thing.
Right?
And it's like, are they running out of ideas?
Plainly not, because I would not have thought, guys, giant ant farm.
Right.
I feel like your creativity's doing fine over there.
That's brilliant. Are there like, okay, so I know that there's like gardens and stuff, right? In
Mm-hmm.
Fallout 76 you can
Yeah.
grow things. But
You
are there
can.
like, have they like upped the garden game? Can you have like greenhouses and stuff now?
There are greenhouse walls that you can buy. It doesn't really make a difference to the growing,
Right.
but aesthetically, you can build a beautiful greenhouse and
So
plant your plants inside it.
so with this ant farm, do you like feed them? Do you
No, no, no. It's just a cosmetic thing to have around your camp, but it's really silly and fun.
That's so cute. Do you see them like crawling around inside?
Mm-hmm.
And oh, that's
Yes.
great.
Yeah, they're just running around in there. You can watch them. And I did. I sat there and watched the ants for a while, like you do. And I thought it was really fun.
That's
So,
brilliant.
um, I believe I mentioned last week the score booster, but I hadn't tried it out yet. The score booster is a consumable item that basically boosts your ability to earn score from doing your challenges. And this is the kind of thing that I absolutely would have railed against like 2 years ago. I know you remember me ranting and raving against all of the microtransaction available things that make the game, that change the functionality of the game. And in my heart, I still feel that way. But also, I got some free ones from the scoreboard, and they're freaking amazing. um, I with using a score booster and doing all of my weeklies and my dailies, and then you can do the next day's dailies because it's a 24-hour reset. So I made so much progress so fast,
Really?
and that was really fun because I'm getting tired of the homework grind. So you can see I bailed out of it last season. I didn't even finish the season
Mm-hmm.
out.
Mm-hmm.
um, but while I was online, it was over the weekend, I think I was online with Archin, and I was shopping around because I had an abundance of caps. And I found this vendor that had a longshoreman outfit. That's one of the outfits from Far Harbor. But in 76, it is a fairly rare outfit. I'd never actually seen one in the game. And I've played fairly regularly for the last, what, 4, 5-ish years. And it was on sale for something like 9,000 caps. So I bought that sucker and added it to my outfit collection. I was really excited. And while I was scrolling through the rest of his stuff, there are two plans that Archin was needing to complete his plan collection of the base game. And both, or one of those,
Oh, I
was
love
in
it.
this vendor for 40,000 caps, which of course is your cap limit. That's a full wallet of caps. So I was like, hey, isn't this one of the plans you need? He said, yes, it is. So he logged out and brought another character on that had 40,000 caps. And we were in the middle of one of the new events. And I had just spent $10,000. So this guy had to be at or near max caps. And then Archon buys this 40,000 cap plan. And this poor guy had to log out in the middle of the event because we pushed him over max caps. It was so funny.
So are you wearing the outfit now?
I was, yes. I had to take it off yesterday because there was a challenge to kill enemies while wearing a costume.
Oh, okay.
So I believe I am now dressed as non-copyright infringing Aquaman.
Oh, brilliant.
But I am really enjoying the new lore and characters that were added with the new areas or the revamped areas and the events. Clyde the bartender was added to the Middle Mountain Cabins, and I really like him. He's got a great personality. He's fun to have the dialogue with. So that's been fun. And another item that they have added is challenge rerolls. Every day, you can have 2 chances to reroll one of the challenges, either daily or weekly. And you have a chance of getting an epic challenge that's worth more points, which is fun. And I really enjoy that you can re-roll the challenges because there's always at least one up there that I just don't want to do. You know, it's
And it's
something like
nice to have that option.
yes, it's nice not to have to go scrounging for Mirelurk eggs if I don't want to do that. And usually the re-roll gives me something that sounds more fun. And
Did
um
they just add that recently, or?
yeah, that was added pretty recently. The ability to re-roll was in the last season, but they were a consumable item that you purchased with money.
Yeah,
And now you get the 2 free re-rolls every day.
yeah.
So
Good idea for the developers, really, to give you
mhm,
that, you know,
mhm.
that out.
I feel like it definitely makes you a little more inclined to even buy some of the re-rolls because you get into that habit of re-rolling your challenges. And if you re-roll twice and it's still not something you want, you know what I mean? I feel like that makes you a little more inclined to purchase. But
Oh well, and possibly negative implications on real life, where
yes.
you can't real life.
And I've installed the new public test server. I don't usually play on the Fallout 76 public test server. Just I really can't be bothered. You know, it's like a whole 90 gigabytes, and I don't have room for that. And um, but in the most recent Inside the Vault, they posted that they were bringing the PTS back online, but they didn't tell us what the changes are. They basically said, go find them. And in a couple of weeks, we'll tell you. And
Oh,
I thought that sounded so fun to have a mystery public test server and just run around and see what I can find that's new. I thought that sounded so intriguing. So I will definitely be jumping into the public test server. And I also checked out a new game. It was called The Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood. And this game isn't out yet. I just played the demo. The demo's up on Steam for free, of course. And in this game, it is a pixel art game, really great pixel art. And you play as a fortune telling witch who has been exiled to an asteroid by her coven. And she's been there for 200 years. She gets really bored. So she summons a big demon, you know, like you do.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and this demon teaches you how to make your own tarot cards.
Oh, this
And
is
it,
right up your alley.
yeah, it starts you on this narrative adventure, and the demon makes it very clear to you that the choices you make when accepting like the demon's contract basically
Yeah.
will affect how your story goes. So it will have branching storylines, and I'm excited to check out the rest of this game. All of the section that I played took place here in her little house on the asteroid. But I'm definitely going to check out the rest of this game when it comes out. You can see they have drag and droppable elements as you construct your tarot cards.
Yeah.
And that was really fun because you can put an aesthetically unique stamp on them. It was cute. It was really fun. I enjoyed it.
I I really want to play when I get a Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Little Kitty Big City.
Okay, which one is that? Tell me about it.
So this is a game about a cat in the city,
Look at how
and
cute that cat is.
you're lost in this ginormous city, and you're it's like Stray but like on the Switch basically, and you have to find your way home. So, but it looks adorable. Like look, it's so cute, right? Getting into all kinds of
Oh,
things and just doing
shenanigans.
what cats do and pushing things off tables, and it's just so good. Yeah. Yeah. I
Oh, he stole a
definitely.
fish.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of this, Shaline.
I hadn't, and it looks so cute.
Yeah. I There's all these games that I like. I've got the Switch bug, and I was looking
Mm-hmm.
at all these games that I want to play, and like that Carlo and I can play, that you and I can play together. It's
I
gonna
think
be
you're really gonna enjoy
it's gonna
this
be
Switch.
dangerous. I'm not allowed to get it until I finish the requirements of my candidacy exam.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay,
Yes.
that's
So
fair.
September is gonna be Switch City, baby, and I'm gonna be rolling into the winter playing on my OLED Switch.
Uh,
It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good reward. I think I did that. I wasn't allowed. I wasn't allowed to. I had to finish my first book before I could buy buy a wheel. And
Yeah. This right here, this is my gift to myself for completing my master's. This
yeah,
espresso machine. Yeah.
yeah,
So it's good to reward yourself for the hard
yeah,
work
yeah,
that we do, right?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's all I've got for the week.
I wanted to say one other thing. I actually watched somebody playing Dredge.
Yes, I'm so interested in that. Did it look fun?
It looks really cute. Yeah, it's kind of got a Disco Elysium feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Similar art style, narrative and dialogue with characters is like that. You've got to do certain things, but you're a fisherman in a boat, and you go and you fish things. But you also have to find like wreckage for people and discover new things. And um, there is this all-seeing eye or something that's like in the ocean that comes alive at night. So you have
Is
to
it
Oh,
like the Eye of Mordor?
I don't know, but you've got to make sure that you are off the water before the sun sets, or it's going to
oh,
be bad news bears. So, it was cute. It was cute. I remember watched it the other day. Wayward Python, who is a UK streamer. My thing in the morning when I get up is flick this thing on, wait
mm,
15 minutes, turn Twitch on, and bring it up on the TV and have my coffee and watch Twitch. And usually it's a
Mm-hmm.
Daddy-O stream because
mm,
Daddy-O streams are the best in the morning. Super chill.
mm.
This morning we were watching, what was he playing? Cyberpunk.
Mm.
So, yeah, I love the Daddy-O streams. It's like the best way to start my morning. So, for those of you,
And just
Daddy-O
to
is
give
in,
him the full shout out, that's Daddio483.
yes, he is in the
D A
chat
D
now.
I O
Yeah.
DADIO 483. Give him the
Yes.
proper shout out.
Twitch.tv/DADIO483. Go check him out. He's always streaming in the mornings. I think it's Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Mm.
I'm not sure what his schedule is, but
Your
He's
mornings.
yeah,
Your
mm.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
He's very commonly here in our chats as well. We're always happy to see you in the chat, Daddy-O.
yeah. Um. Anyways, it seems like that's a show for us.
I think it is. Yeah, it was a fun one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't forget, we are sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you head on over to oakandcrow.com, you can pick up a bag of We Just Love Coffee blend. $2 from every purchase of that blend goes to the Children's Miracle Network. You can send us an email if you want to send us some mail at info@wejustlovegames.com or post in our screenshots and stories channel in the Discord. We're also on Twitter at We Just Love Games, Shaline at Shaline L, myself at Vendertron, and Ravensview at RavensviewCA on Twitter. You can also find Raven's channel here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Ravensview. If you want to go shoot him a follow as well. Is there any other socials that you want to mention, Raven?
Just my blog if they want to find. I've got my links to my stories and writings and various all sorts of miscellaneous things on my blog,
And
which again
how can people
is
access that?
which is ravensview.ca.
Ah, okay.
I got a brand going here.
Yes. You can also find our show on Facebook, facebook.com/We Just Love Games, facebook.com/group/We Just Love Games. We're also on Discord, our chat after dark. You can scroll right down below on our Twitch page and click on the Discord link. That will get you right in there. Or you can send us a personal message on any of the social media platforms that we are on, and we'll make sure that you get the link. Don't forget, we record the show live 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, right here on twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. We are on YouTube, iTunes, and for the foreseeable little bit longer, Stitcher Radio, Google, Apple, and Spotify as well. Please like, subscribe, and review the show. Thank you all for listening. And Shaline, have you got the Raven? Have you got the last word for the show?
Just thank you for having this old guy on the show.
Good night, everyone.
Night all.